thanks. Like, hey, Scoob, did you hear Nikki Blake is hosting a Scooby-Doo panel? No. Yeah. Like on today's Scooby-Doo episode, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy meet Nikki Blake. Yeah, and a Scooby Panel. Like, we need to get this puppy started. Okay, Nikki Blake, take it away, Scooby-Doo.
Welcome to the Scooby Panel. I'm your host, Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com, and today we are talking about the Nutcracker Scoob. Before we begin, I will have everyone introduce themselves, and Wendy will start with you.
Hi guys, I'm Wendy BRYDGE. I'm a commission artist and a Scooby collector for over 30 years.
Joel?
Hey there, I'm Joel from the YouTube channel Planet Scooby.
So we're talking about the Nutcracker Scoob, which is an amazing Christmas episode, and this is going to be fun. Going to be fun for sure. The Nutcracker Scoob aired in 2 parts on December 1st, 1984, and each part was about 12 minutes long. It aired as part of the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries. The gang, minus Velma, are at a children's home helping to prepare for their Christmas pageant when the ghost of Christmas Never shows up and derails the show, looking for the emerald that is hidden in the star of the show. After several costume changes and a sleigh chase, the gang catch the ghost and save Christmas for the kids. Let's talk about where's Velma. Why wasn't Velma there? Someone has something against Velma. So where was she? Where was she? Anybody know why she wasn't there? Wendy?
You know, I don't want to take hate for this, but I didn't miss her. I just didn't miss her. Now, there is a reason for that, though. So by the time we get to the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries in the mid-'80s, there's only a handful of episodes where we see any of the gang outside of Daphne. When we do see Velma, though, she is, and I'm sorry, I mean, all love to everyone that's ever had anything to do with Scooby. God bless Martha Frumpkin, whoever is voicing Velma in that series, but yeah, that is the reason that I do not miss Velma. But not just the voice, but something I noticed today rewatching this for like the 10 billionth time, because I mean, this VHS when I was a kid, I'm surprised that maybe it doesn't still work. I don't know, but I watched it a billion times. Something I hadn't thought about before, though, is that Freddy, his demeanor and his attitude, he's a little different than classic Fred from Where Are You and the Scooby-Doo show. He's like a little too chipper. Come on, gang, let's da-da-da. Where, yeah, Freddy's like, come on, gang, but not like that. And that got me thinking about how when we do see Velma, like in the Happy Birthday Scooby-Doo episodes, she also has like a character attitude sort of like twist where she's not quite the same as the classic Velma we know. And you know what? I don't like either of them in this newer, the way that they are. So I was trying to watch this thinking, if it did have Velma, like where would she be? What would she be doing? How would she add to this? And I really, for the life of me, I could not imagine the Nutcracker Scoob with Velma in it. I just was having a hard time. I can't. I could maybe see it with more classic Velma, but even then it seems like a bit of a stretch. I don't know why, but so I didn't really miss her, and I love Freddy, so I was glad that he was there. And of course, Frank Welker always, like, I don't think he's ever flubbed Freddy a day in his life. Freddy always sounds good, even with that sort of quirky new attitude. But yeah, like what would Velma be doing? I don't know. What would she be doing? I couldn't picture it.
I think it was hard to picture because she was missing. But
Maybe.
Yeah, what would she be doing? Joel, any ideas why she would be missing or what you think she would have been doing?
Yeah, Wendy said a lot about what I was going to say too, like the voice actor at that time. Kind of glad she wasn't in there. Just wasn't my Velma. Freddy was different, really different. And I can't see him as like a director when like all his tropes fail. Like, how is he going to direct a play competently? an idea that just popped in my head. Like, wasn't Velma retcon later on to be Jewish? So why would she be in a Christmas episode? I don't know if that flies or not.
Okay.
But I remember Mindy Cohen brought a lot of Jewish aspects to Velma in What's New Scooby-Doo. But yeah, like I guess the shorter running time, you can't really put Velma in there and give attention to all these other characters, especially when you've added Scrappy to the mix and you have all these side suspects too. It's Velma would be too much, and she'd have the thing solved already. It would only be like a one-parter. No need for a two-part with Velma.
Yeah, I don't know. I missed her at first because, you know, when the rest of the gang is there, you expect them all to be there. But yeah, as it went on, I was just like, well, I guess at that point she wasn't saying things like, oh, it couldn't be a real ghost, like real ghosts don't exist. But in my brain, that's what I was thinking. And then I was like, well, we don't need that. Like, it's a Christmas episode and it's fun and it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree that I didn't really miss her in this. But I do kind of feel like she should have been there just because she should have been there. I mean, the rest of the gang was there. She should have been there.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts on the episode. One of my thoughts was that I felt like this episode felt like it was really long. Like longer than just the 24 minutes that it was in two pieces. I just felt like it was really long. What are your overall thoughts on the episode, Joel?
Last year I had the same thought. I thought it was too long when I watched it for our last panel. We were discussing Christmassy stuff, so I watched that one. And I didn't like it as much last year for some reason. But this year I loved it. I didn't feel it was that long at all for some reason. I guess because I had some more familiarity with it. I own the VHS tape, but I don't think I ever watched it. And I don't think I watched it when it aired because it just wasn't airing on through the airwaves way back when. So I hadn't really watched it until last year. And I think just because I think last year I just saw it as kind of goofy and I like the spookier aspects of Scooby-Doo, but this year I just thought more of Christmassy and I'm ready for Christmas now when I watched it and I just loved it this year. So I'm just talking to myself in circles. So I'm talking. This year, thumbs up from Joel. Last year, I would have been bah humbug.
Wendy, what are your overall thoughts on the episode?
Okay, can I just say that when it started, I was probably doing all of the lines with everyone and like with the perfect timing and inflection. I probably was like 95% of like all of the dialogue I could do. That is how many times I have seen this episode of Scooby. Because since I was a kid, Christmas decorating, favorite thing in the entire world to do, even though it's almost December and I have not done it yet, but that's okay. But absolutely, I had not this tape, but I have like a homemade tape of just holiday specials that I taped off of Cartoon Network. That is on there. That was the thing. As long as you're decorating, the tape goes in and you just watch it on repeat. 6 hours of holiday episodes on repeat until you're done. And that was just a thing. So today I was quite happy that after probably not watching this special in probably like 2 or 3 years, that I still knew all of the dialogue. So that says something for it. I've never found that it was too long. But for some strange reason, that break in the middle, because technically it's 2 episodes, it bugs the heck out of me. I don't know why, because you'd be getting like a pause and a break and a black screen there no matter what for like commercial breaks. But the fact that they then throw up that title card and you know that this is like a 2-part thing, I don't know. It irks me for some strange reason every single time. I will have to say though, after seeing it all those times, I noticed something today that I have never noticed before, and now it's made me love it even more. When Shaggy and Scooby bring the horse and the sleigh out of the garage, not only is the sleigh colored like the Mystery Machine, it says Mystery Sleigh on it. This was the first time that I've noticed that. How I've never seen that before, I don't know. But I rewound it like 3 or 4 times and I'm just like, okay, whoever did that, that's like one of those things where you're just like, thank you for paying attention to detail, because that's really awesome. I mean, it's the classic Christmas tale. I think that it worked reasonably well adapted into a Scooby episode. I didn't really feel like it was much of a stretch. I definitely liked it better as an adaptation of sorts than the Flintstones Christmas Carol. I loved the idea of it, did not like the special. So this, I thought it made sense to me. I didn't have any problem with it. Kind of had a bit of an issue with some of the other voices in it, which I've also sort of realized is an odd thing, because when I think Hanna-Barbera just in general, like Scooby and pre-Scooby and sort of like just up to the 80s maybe, I don't know that I could pick out a cartoon where there was like a dud voice in it. I thought that even though sometimes there's not like the cartoons are very like simplistic, for just because they were churning out so much all of the time, they couldn't put a ton of detail. The voicing was always spot on for Hanna-Barbera, as opposed to Filmation, which in my opinion looked better, but the voicing was very questionable in every single show that they did. Really not great. The new Scooby Mysteries though, what happened? Because they moved away from that Hanna-Barbera perfect voice acting, and they're like hiring people that probably shouldn't be voice actors at all, maybe. Like just like really annoying, grating voices. We won't name names, but you know, that bugged me a little bit, because I feel like the episode should have been better than it actually was. To the point that, like, if there's any Twilight Zone fans, everybody hates the Bewitching Pool, and I think it's mostly because of the terrible dubbing job that they did for Scout. That's the feeling that I get when I watch this, when Tina's talking. And I'm like, why? Yeah. I almost would have rather that like Freddie, like Frank Welker, I think maybe could have even done a more pleasant to listen to voice for the little girl. So that kind of, it sounds like a grown woman trying to sound like a child. Yeah. There was no kids that you could hire to like come do the voice. Like, she's only got a couple of lines, you know, but so that is like the downside to the episode, I think. Definitely one of my favorite background art episodes. The inside of Winslow Nickelby's mansion, goodness sakes, all of that like ornate detailing over the windows and the painting over the fireplace, and then when they're like riding around outside in the snow, like the trees with the snow covered, magical. Beautiful artwork in this episode. Wish it was better quality, you know, the way that like classic Scooby is. Like, however, I'm still not entirely sure what makes it look like lines and stuff like that, if it's like the how they painted it, if it's digital, or if it's just I have no idea, but that is a shame. I wish that it could be remastered to be perfect the way that like classic Scooby is. But all in all, I think it's like 8.5 out of 10 for me. The only other thing though that's weird, and I don't know why, but not only on the VHS, but also if you watch any of like the trailers, they had like little trailers at the beginning of other VHSs that they had for all of the Hanna-Barbera Christmas specials, including this VHS, a Nutcracker Scoob. It's in the episode, and I'm like, how'd you make that? How'd you make that error? I mean, I've been making that error forever because I've just been going off of the tape and also ignoring the title card. But I guess that's just one of those like Scooby quirks that it's not perfect, but in its imperfectness, it makes it perfect because it's something to talk about and remember. But yeah, I actually like it better as a Nutcracker Scoob.
I think I do too. And I don't think I really realized that it was until I watched it today, and I was like, wait, I had written down, but it should be the. So yeah. Scrappy was surprisingly not annoying in this, which was good. It made it easier to watch. A couple of things that I just wanted to bring up. He offered $5,000 for the building. $5,000. Like even at that time, that building would have been worth more than $5,000.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little weird. When they caught the ghost in the sack and then the ghost was gone, Scooby was really surprised that the ghost wasn't in the sack, but wouldn't he have known that? I mean, he was holding it. If you're holding a baby and you drop the baby, you're going to know that you dropped it. I mean, it's going to cry, but the fact that you're no longer like you don't feel it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Would that not be the same for a grown person who's in a ghost costume? Would you not realize that the bag is empty before you had to set it down and look in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I also love the mystery sleigh, and I wish they would have used that in the chase scene. Because that would have been, instead of them being on skis or all of them being on skis, they totally could have used the mystery sleigh in the chase scene, and it would have made it so much better. And then Scrappy had a Polaroid camera, right, in Nickleby's house. And then they get back to the children's home and he has a microscope. Like, where did he find these things? They were just there.
Okay, well, if it's a children's home, then they're probably schooling them there as well, I would think, yeah? So maybe they had like a little makeshift science lab for like teaching?
I guess, but why would Scrappy know that? He was just there to help with the pageant. Like, he shouldn't have been walking around the place, like, figuring out, and a microscope?
Given, though, that the Mystery Machine has a full-on darkroom for developing photos in it, though, there's probably a microscope someplace in there.
True. That's true. All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I did like the episode, though. I think it's a really cute episode, and like I said, Scrappy wasn't annoying, which made it even better. Made it watchable. So it's good.
And we got to watch him beat up a cat.
Yes.
Which was surprisingly good. I enjoyed that.
I mean, he wasn't not necessarily bullying people. It was just the right people, I guess, because they were already bullies. I don't know. That makes sense. Like he was the one that pushed the ghost into the sack.
Yeah.
So was that the right thing to do? I guess, because it was a ghost.
Yep.
Yeah. So acceptable bullying in this? Is that what we're calling it?
Justified aggression.
Okay.
Let's call it that. Okay?
Justified aggression. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Costumes. There were a lot of costume changes in this, and I think that really added a lot to the episode. It made the episode so much more fun, so much more Christmassy, you know, because it was different Christmas costumes. The one thing that I wish that they would have done was put Scrappy in a reindeer costume like he said he wanted to be, because I do think that for this, he would have been a very cute reindeer.
Definitely.
Wendy, what are your thoughts on the costumes?
Yeah, love a costume change in Scooby. Love when there's a winter outfit or a Christmas outfit. Like, that is great. May I just say how much right before I signed on and I was doing my makeup, and because there may be more than one Christmas panel, I was thinking about what I was going to wear, and a few years ago wore this like white sparkly top that I desperately want to wear again for a panel. And this time I found at the thrift store a few months ago a little headband with like a glittery halo. And I'm like, that's it. That's my Christmas panel outfit right there.
Nice.
So all day today, I'm like, okay, do I wear the red tonight and the white later? Or do I wear the white tonight and the red later? So I decide on this. And literally the second I finish my makeup, it hits me. Why are you not cosplaying as Daphne, who was an angel in the episode? It's literally your other outfit. What's the matter with you? So I am going to stew about this for the next 6 months, probably. It's going to be a problem for me, but oh well. Daphne, super cute angel. Scrappy, he didn't want to be the sugar plum fairy, but also kind of adorable in his little tutu. Not sure why. Now, okay, maybe I'm misremembering this, but Scrappy didn't have the curly wig too, did he? Wasn't it just Scooby that had the curly wig, or did I just block out that Scrappy had a wig on?
No, it was
He didn't have one.
Scooby.
Why is Scooby wearing a curly wig? That was a little like, I mean, I guess he needed some kind of hair to make him look like a girl, but I don't know about that one. Freddy as the Nutcracker was pretty cool. Don't know that he needed the mustache though. Could have done without the mustache, I think. Definitely though, I think the elves costumes sort of like take the cake. Scrappy was really cute and Scooby was cute and even Shaggy looked kind of cute in them. Ghost of Christmas, never. Decently scary looking, I think. The black face and the eyes and stuff. So I thought that was okay. Yeah, I would like to see more. I wish there had been more costumes in Scooby. I think that is always a fun thing to do. And this one definitely delivered. And of course, it doubles. We get winter outfits too. Because Shaggy's got earmuffs on and his like striped shirt with the collar and everything. And so just even just a winter outfit. So to get winter and Christmas together, yeah, 10 out of 10 for costumes.
Yeah, it was nice that we got the winter outfits and costumes were great. I don't know. Joel, what were your thoughts on the costumes?
Yeah, costumes were great. We also got the chimney sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
And what were the costumes when the ghost came out of the house and they like butlers or something? They were doing something. It was in the second episode. The ghost comes out of the house and chases them because they have the star. I forget, they were something.
Yeah, at the moment I can't remember what they were.
So many costumes in this episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, this whole series, like every Scrappy costume was pretty much adorable. Like he did the lobster, not in this episode, but in this series. He was like a fast food bag, takeout bag in one episode. And yeah, I think they were having a lot of fun with Scrappy, especially making him look cute at this series, which is why I have a somewhat soft spot for Scrappy because he puts up with these costumes. This is the most I'm going to say.
Oh no. No. Joel, now you've started something.
Yeah. Yeah, the ghosts look good. I'll leave it there. Oh,
You
there was a
literally-
costume. There's a costume faux pas. Because
Okay.
Freddy, when they're skiing, Freddy had his Nutcracker thing on, but when the ghost interrupts the play, Freddy doesn't have his costume on. He just has like a white shirt on.
Oh.
And then they jump to the ski chase scene and he's got the mustache and the hat on and
Okay. Yeah.
it's weird. But yeah. And I interrupted you, so go ahead.
Didn't Nickelby like rip the costume off of him?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice him down, yeah.
Yeah, because he tackled him and then he was like ripping off the pieces trying to find the emerald,
Yeah.
which was a little weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in the middle of the play. Why
Yeah.
is he tackling Fred in the middle of the play? Why wouldn't he have waited until after? But he was like, ooh, it's in the Nutcracker? I'm gonna get up right now. I'm gonna tackle him in front of all these people.
Yeah. I think if Freddy had had the emerald, he would have been down at the pawn shop getting some cash for it. I don't think he'd be up there performing with like an emerald, stuffed in his pocket.
That's not what the gang is about. They would never do that.
No.
I can't believe that you had Scrappy in your lap this entire time.
Actually, he was just on the side, but I keep him close enough that I can like reach over without you necessarily noticing. So he can just pop up here and there. Joel just gave everyone the best Christmas gift ever with what he said. Okay. We're going to make a meme out of that. Maybe a little gif.
Yeah, cut that out of the broadcast, please.
It's got to stay there now. You said it.
Well, you're just cursing yourself because
Joel,
I look at it this way. It balances out my dislike for Scrappy so that I can get away with saying things like that.
Oh, that's a good point. That's true.
And then like you guys balance it out. So then people are just like, well, yeah, what Wendy said, or yeah, what Joel said, and they're just like, forget about what I said.
You're gonna go to like New York one day, and then you're gonna see me on Times Square saying that, like in Manhattan, when
Oh,
he's
I hope
gonna
so.
broadcast it. That's in your future.
I'm there. Let me know when. I was just in New York yesterday, so it's not too far away. I can get there very quickly. Let me know. The chase scene. Let's talk about the chase scene. What were your thoughts on it, Joel?
I'm the worst person to ask for this because every chase scene in Scooby, I just blank out. I cannot pay attention to any chase scenes.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just, I guess because there's no dialogue and it's like, it's kind of over. Let's just cut to the masking, unmasking.
But there's music, and you like music.
I do like music, but I don't necessarily like that style of music.
So do you find the chase scenes are unnecessary?
I wouldn't say that because they're so beloved by everyone. But for me, I think they're still necessary. Maybe it's a good time for me to blank out. So I'm processing who the villain's going to be. I don't know. I just always blank out though.
Hmm. I think that will make a good case study.
I think I'm the only person who blanks out because I think everyone else loves the chase scenes, but
I don't know.
I'll even try and focus and then I'll just get to the end. I'm like, what happened?
Wendy, what are your thoughts on the chase scene?
Oh, Joel, you are not the only one, because that is almost exactly what I was going to say, which is it's the one part of the episode where I'm like, I'm not even paying attention. I hear it, like I can hear the song and I can hear the music in my mind,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I go to do something or I look out the window because I'm like, well, there's nothing to see here, I guess. And then all of a sudden it's over.
Yeah.
So some chase scenes are better than others. I don't really need them, I don't think. That one seemed somehow too long, but also short at the same time. And then my biggest issue was that it ends the mystery.
Yeah.
And that for some reason was like screeching to a halt whatever was like going on with like my brain while I was like enjoying things. It was just like there's a brick wall. Hit it 90 miles an hour. That kind of I don't know. I feel like you need the end of the episode is not the place for the chase scene for me. I think it's better if it happens like in the middle, or there's something else that happens before the end. So that was kind of my real issue with it. But I agree. I think it would have been a lot more memorable with their special mystery sleigh. I think it would have made more sense and it would have been visually more appealing. Maybe it was kind of that because it was outside and we'd spent so much time like in the children's home. So then they're just like, I mean, I know it wasn't the first time they had been outside, but it made sense, but it also felt disconnected somehow. I don't know. I don't know that we need chase scenes, to be honest. Or if we have them, it could be like 2 seconds and then they go on to something else. I don't know. It was just okay. It was okay.
I think the chase scene was a little weird because, I mean, you have the gang on skis, first of all, and the skis were nowhere to be found in the beginning of the episode when they were outside, but all of a sudden they're there and they're ready for them.
Mm-hmm.
The mystery sleigh really should have been part of the chase scene. Like that really short amount of time that we saw it was just not enough. For them to have painted it like the mystery machine and given it the name Mystery Sleigh, it should have been a bigger part of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you have them on skis, and then you have at one point Shaggy is on top of Scooby, and then the horse is on top of Shaggy. And it's like, why is this happening? And then they're on top of the horse, and then like the sleigh with the ghost flies over them and lands upside down. It just, to me, it just was a little ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I found it hard to focus on it because they were just doing the weirdest things. Maybe if they just had the mystery sleigh and they were just chasing them down the hill and then, you know, it hit a rock or something and flew and flipped over, I would have been better with that, but it's just a little weird.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the emerald falling out of the Nutcracker's crotch. I mean, of all places, why? Scrappy picks up the Nutcracker, spreads its legs, and it falls out of its crotch. That was the best thing that they could do. There wasn't a better place for the emerald to fall out of. Seriously. Wendy, what are your thoughts on the emerald?
Well, it also didn't make sense because nutcrackers don't have legs that you can pry open like that. What they do have is a mouth that drops open, though, that you could have had the emerald in there. I mean, so yeah, I feel like they kind of like went out of their way to make it a little bit weird. Like, whose idea was that? I don't know. I don't know. Like, it took more effort to come up with that, I think, than to just do it in the way that made sense. So yeah, I mean, it's an iconic image though of Scrappy, like, and then
Is that iconic? Yeah. I mean,
well, I think of it
what is he pulling its legs apart for in the first place? That's not the first thing I'm gonna think of if I pick up a Nutcracker.
Yeah, I don't know. It was an odd choice.
Very odd choice.
Yeah.
Joel, your thoughts on the emerald?
Yeah, I'm trying to justify in my head like why they might have went that way, but nothing's really coming up other than those other types of nutcrackers where you squeeze the two legs together. Same thing you'd use for like lobster claws. They're like metal.
Oh, okay.
You know,
that's not that they don't look like a person.
They don't look, but they're called nutcrackers.
Right. I know what you mean. It's metal and you like it's almost like one of those hand grip things, but
yeah.
Yeah. But so that doesn't look like a person.
Right.
No, but maybe that's where it originated. Maybe the original nutcrackers were like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
They use the crotch to crack nuts. I mean,
maybe.
It makes sense, but
those Germans, they have a twisted sense of humor.
I would say so.
This requires more research.
Yeah, apparently it does. Well, I'll add some more research to the end of the panel. Yeah. We'll go through a little mini history of nutcrackers.
Okay.
Yeah. I really hope that they did not crack nuts that way, though, on a nutcracker that looks like a person. Because, yeah, that's just weird. The emerald should have come out of the nutcracker's mouth, like Wendy said. It would have made sense. And what would have been even cooler was if the nutcracker looked like the Scooby-Doo nutcracker that we have.
Mm.
That would have been really cool. Even if it didn't look just like Scooby, it could have looked like a dog instead of a person.
Yeah, it would have been cute.
But again, the emerald should come out of the mouth. Yeah. Did you suspect Nanette was the ghost? Joel?
I did, even though I forgot everything from last year when I watched it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's her. So I think some part of my brain remembered. And you knew it was a girl, and you couldn't be Muffin Stuffer because she was too, I think, elderly to pull off that kind of acrobatic stunts. So Nanette was the one with enough vigor and youth to really be the villain, I think. Out of all the suspects. Couldn't be Tiny Tina because too tiny. And those were the only females. Oh, was there? No, it was Muffin Stuffer, Nanette, Tiny Tina. Yeah, I think that was it.
And the one that ran the...
Oh, yeah. Wizzywig or something.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a blonde lady too, right? The blonde lady that showed up at the... She walked in the door before Nickelby when they were getting ready to perform the play.
Oh, yeah, and she's dusting her off. Dusting the snow off. Yeah.
Yeah. Wendy, did you suspect Nanette?
No. Not when I was a kid. I mean, obviously, like I know now every time I watch it, but no, I'm pretty sure when I was a kid, I didn't know who it was at all. No, I thought that was a decent, I mean, like, Is it a play on the trope that the butler did it? Because she's kind of a butler. Not really, but kind of. You know, maybe. That if it is, though, I also think that that's very appropriate for Scooby. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm glad, like, I mean, obviously, if she had her accent while she's the ghost, that would have given it away. But once you know that it's Nanette and then you go back and you watch it and you listen more carefully to the ghost, whether it was intentional or not, I mean, to me, and maybe it's just my brain making it do stuff, but it does sort of have like a flavor of someone that has an accent but is trying not to have one. Again, that might just be my brain trying to make me enjoy the episode a little bit more. So I'm like justifying how things are done and making things happen that aren't really a thing, but that's okay. She was really cute though. I liked her design.
When the one thing that bothered me was when the gang went into the bakery to get the cookies and Nanette was brushing Fred off, and then he grabbed her wrist and he held her wrist. And like the way that I saw it was in a very abusive kind of grip that he had on her wrist, and that I didn't like.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't suspect her, but then I was thinking, like, is that like to kind of show that she is the one without showing that she's the one? You know, is that like their sign that, okay, he's holding her like that because he knows that she's the ghost, but doesn't really know, but he knows, you know, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Final thoughts on the Nutcracker Scoob. Wendy?
Okay. I've never worn a lapel pin. Forgot to even look it up, but I'm almost positive that a lapel pin can only be worn one way. Daphne, we were holding it upside down. No, Daphne, you were holding it upside down. And I feel like you probably should have known better because it has to be worn. That is an issue. Like that's not like some piddly little continuity issue with it. That is like, that's the whole story, and it's built on something that I don't think you would necessarily make a mistake on. You know, even when she like is holding it at the end and then she like flips it over in the way that she's holding it, I'm just like, I guess it had to be that kind of a thing in order to pull off what they actually did. But also, how are you holding it upside down? I just feel like that was a bit of a stretch, even for Scooby. Because like it's got a pokey thing. It can only go on one way, I'm pretty sure. Again, I've never worn one. If somebody, Joel, have you worn one? Can it go the other way? Or is that just like...
It can go the other way, but you're going to stab yourself in the neck.
Okay.
Because I know this from experience.
Okay. Oh, dear.
Why am I not surprised?
No, but it's, I mean, other than that and the voicing a little bit, it's a very, very fun, true Christmas episode. It's not just a winter thing. It is for Christmas. I do personally think it is the best Scooby Christmas special out of all of the Scooby canon. Absolutely worth watching every year. And it's got a cool VHS, which you can't beat that. So yeah, definitely A+ for the or a Nutcracker Scoob, whichever way you want to say it.
Joel, final thoughts?
I'm glad we watched this. When the topic came up, I was like, eh. Because it was the voice. Tiny Tina, yeah, last year. That's what really, I didn't want to say at the start. It was the voice. I couldn't get past that voice. It just ruined the whole thing for me last year. Every time she came on, I just wanted to throw something on my TV. But I guess I knew that going in, and I enjoyed it this time. So thank you for having me rewatch it. It is the best Scooby Christmas special that I've seen.
Yeah.
You'll
Put the
have to
metal
take
to the
Wendy.
put the pedal to the metal, Charlie.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have
Sorry,
to
I
thank
had to.
Wendy for us rewatching it because she didn't like my idea, so she
Not that I didn't
gave me
like
a new
it.
idea.
I
No,
just
it's fine. It's fine. Listen, I appreciate advice. I appreciate ideas. I will go with whatever, and it's all good. I'll take what I can get. It's all good. All
but we're
right.
still gonna be able to do it. You figured out a way of like making it so
We
it won't be
will.
longer
Yeah.
than like 5 minutes. So
Yes. We'll do it in 2025. It's all good. Yes. Yes. I liked the episode. I thought it was really good. It was fun. It's a fun episode. It's, you know, some interesting things that I find are a little weird, but I mean, what's not weird in Scooby-Doo, right? There's a lot of weird stuff in Scooby-Doo. We've only covered a very small amount of weird stuff on the panel. So maybe that's what we'll do next year too. We'll cover some more weird stuff.
there you go.
Weird stuff. Yeah. Is there anything that you guys would have done differently with this? Like anything you would have added or just done differently? Joel?
I think I would have liked to have seen a special instead of just a two-parter episode.
Okay.
Like
That way
maybe
you kind of do
longer?
eliminate that break, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they could flesh it out more. Maybe include Velma. Maybe spend a little time getting their characters right. Velma and Freddy. But I don't know. It could be too long for a special with all the costumes. I think maybe you do need that break, that week off, just when it aired, just because there was a lot of costume changes I don't know. But I know, like Wendy, you said the Flintstone Christmas Carol wasn't that great. I agree with you there, but there's some other Hanna-Barbera Christmas episodes that were specials and that were pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think Scooby should be in the caliber of that
Mm-hmm.
if they had a Christmas special for Scooby.
Yeah.
Guess
I
we'll
do
never.
think it would have been better as like a full special, but I don't know if I would have made it longer. It already felt really long to me.
Well, they could have spent more time on the script and like I don't say like use the exact episode and just plop it into a special, just kind of maybe that theme and maybe make it like a Friday night thing where you're just anticipating it as a kid and you're just excited and you watch it prime time, 8 o'clock Friday before Dukes of Hazzard or whatever, and just maybe make it a little bit spookier, like a classic Scooby-Doo episode, but include Scrappy.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I'd take Scrappy out of it if it was different.
No, you wouldn't.
Maybe through Scooby-Dum in there.
I would have put Scooby D in it before Scooby Dum.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting.
I think, I don't know, I just feel like Scooby D needs to be in a Christmas special or a Christmas episode. I
She's
think
an
she
actress.
would, right. And
Yeah.
I think she'd be really good. And this would have been a really good episode for her to be in because they were acting. So,
Yeah, it would have worked. Yeah.
yeah. Wendy, would you have done anything different?
You know what? I'll tell you the truth. I think that the only thing that I would really change is I think a little more effort into the voicing. Better casting. Other than that, I honestly don't think I would change anything about it. I think I would just leave it. I really do think that it is quite well done. But with better, more Hanna-Barbera-esque voice acting, I think it would have been like a 10 out of 10. As it is, it's like I say, I think 8.5 is about the top of it because the voicing, like I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but it is that bad. Some of the voices, they really are that bad to like, it impacts how much you can enjoy the episode. Sometimes it's just a matter of like, okay, well, I'm not crazy about this voice, but it's not like when Lenny did Scrappy, it's not that his voice was not like, it's not that he was not an accomplished voice actor. He was excellent. I just didn't particularly care for that tone and that sound for this character. But as far as like how well it was acted, it was fantastic. I have no, you know what I mean? But when it's the voice acting itself that is like not really on par with the rest of it and what it should be, it makes it hard to watch. And unfortunately, I do think that is where this episode suffers from. So that's the only thing I would change. They'll leave it all the same, but like let's do just a little bit of voice recasting, I think.
Yeah. I don't know what I would change. I would probably change a lot of it if I really thought about it. So I won't think about it because it's fine. It's fine the way it is. It's one of my favorite holiday episodes. And yeah, it's good. I think this is probably the one that people like the most. I don't know. We're gonna find out soon. So. But right now we're gonna wrap this up. Before we do, let everyone know where they can find you on social media. Wendy?
On Instagram, I'm at Wendy Bridge. Twitter X is Wendy Loves Jesus, and my blog is wendylovesjesus.wordpress.com.
Joel?
You can find me on YouTube. Just type in Planet Scooby.
And you can find all my links on ScoobyAddicts.com. Let us know your thoughts on the Nutcracker Scoob, and thank you for joining us for another Scooby panel.
Merry Christmas!
A little Nutcracker history for you, as promised. A bowl of nuts is a common part of many people's Christmas snacking, but comes with the age-old problem of how to easily access the tasty nut inside the shell. While Shaggy and Scooby would probably be quite happy to devour the entire thing without worrying, for most of us, the shell needs to go. Today, most of us probably use a simple metal nutcracker which looks like a pair of pliers. These probably find their design origins in the blacksmith's tongs and would often be made of iron, silver, or bronze. In the 19th century, more elaborate designs were used by wealthy households. We all know the proverb about using a sledgehammer to crack a nut, and way back in history, this is pretty much what happened, with nuts being cracked using a stone slab, not unlike an anvil and a hammer. However, this would not be the most portable way of solving the problem when visiting friends and family for dinner. Have you got the plate of cookies to take? And the wine? And the hammer and anvil? Something else was needed. The 17th century saw the start of the development of the traditional nutcracker in the shape of a doll, an example of which is featured in the Nutcracker Scoob. These were most often in the shape of toy soldiers, although many other designs were used. They soon became very popular, and although originally given as gifts all year round, became associated particularly with Christmas. These dolls gained in popularity, but were time-consuming to make, until mass production was started in the 19th century in Germany by Wilhelm Friedrich Fugner. The dolls were produced quickly using lathes. During the Second World War, American soldiers stationed abroad started bringing the dolls home as gifts, and so they became embedded in American culture at Christmas time too. In the original German tradition, the Nutcracker doll was seen as a way of dispelling evil spirits and bringing good fortune. Maybe Shaggy and Scooby need to carry one with them at all times. Thank you for tuning in to another Scooby panel. I'm Nikki Blake from ScoobyAddicts.com. If you like these panels, please subscribe to my channel for more great discussions. A huge shout out to our patrons, Julie Rosen, Ross from ScoobyFan.net, Tagus, Garrett Spencer, Paul the Scooby Dude, and Jesse. If you would like to support the Scooby panel, please go to patreon.com/ScoobyAddicts. A very special thank you to artist, blogger, and Scooby collector Wendy Bridge, and Joel from Planet Scooby. And a special shout out to Mark Norman, host of the Folklore podcast, and author of Zoinks! The Spooky Folklore behind Scooby-Doo, for writing the script for the Nutcracker history. Scooby Panel is available in podcast form on most podcast platforms, or as a web series on YouTube. You can find Scooby Panel on Instagram, Facebook, and X as @ScoobyPanel. We are part of the Collector's Maze Network, where you can find all things geek. Scooby and Shaggy were voiced by Scott Innes. Check out Scott's website, onescottshop.com. Scooby Addicts artwork by Will Davenport. Scooby Panel logo by Garrett Spencer. Video editing by Nikki Blake. Music composed and performed by Bovine Nightmares. Please join us next time for another Scooby Panel.